Welcome. My name is Idris Kamoga, and I'm happy to have you once again. It's a new month of April, right? And hope you're progressing steadily. That's the most important thing. I've already told you speed doesn't matter at this moment, but what matters is, are you moving forward? Are you stepping forward? So you must be very calculative. How many steps are you stepping forward? Of course, you might step backward, but it has to be more steps ahead and less steps backward, right? I'm happy to have you once again and welcome to this learning tutorial. Today we bring you something very important, and I've had many queries from industry colleagues, especially the directors, the business owners, regarding employee retention, right? Did you know that retaining quality team is part of your organization's success? In tourism, losing your team in and out would probably affect your growth strategies. So, and this has been a big complaint from the directors, from so many people, that Idris, I'm going to hire staff. My boy left me, my IT left me, my consultant before even 1 year. It is worrying, but we need to check ourselves. Who is to blame anyway? Is it the team that we're hiring? And these people are looking for jobs anyway. And why is it that nearly within a year you see them leaving out? You see, nearly even 2 years. Because I would say, are you able to retain someone for 5 years and more? You see, at least that qualifies you as a good manager at your workplace. So we want to look at the key strategies on how we wish, on how the best ways to keep uh, our good team, what we call employee retention strategies. And there will definitely be in a number of categories. We'll try to digest them probably in 3 or 4 or 5 categories. And it's a normal conversation. The complaints have been on, even to an extent of someone saying, I'm working alone. And the question is, you have one head, you have 2 arms and 2 legs. Literally, you cannot do everything by yourself. And someone says, I'm working with my wife. Okay, cool. But look, tour operation is big. Tourism business is big. Hotel business, all these are part of tourism businesses, right? So you cannot work alone. Neither can you work with 1 or 2 people, right? Unless you're going to be stagnant at a particular level. If you're looking at growing big and bigger, you must employ quality team. And in numbers anyway. And whenever you grow in numbers, you must have strategies on how you are going to retain these people for some good time. This is very important. So this is why we are coming to you with some of these key strategies that we want you to understand, what is going to help you out as you're trying to looking for growth and success in the tourism business. So let's dive in, and we're gonna have these points in no particular order, but of course we all know what would keep an employee around. Maybe at one point we'll get on a chat with the staff, to get it from the horse's mouth. But these are some of the key strategies that you can have, right? Let's look at payments, right? Payments, let's call it fair wages or fair salaries. I know each industry has got, I don't know whether we've got standard, what we call minimum wage in the tourism business. You know, I don't know how much waitresses in hotels are paid, what tour consultants are paid as minimum, what driver guides are paid minimum. But let's have the concept of fair wages or salaries. Ask yourself, what are you paying your staff? Are you paying them fairly enough? Because this is very important. Tour companies can pay less, $100, $200. Is it fair enough in a way? So the question goes back to you, the director, right? Ask yourself, are you paying fairly enough? If you're not paying fairly enough, that means it will be very hard for you to retain your employees for a long time. We can also look at benefits, other benefits attached to the salary, right? Um, these benefits can be as commission. Are you, are you are you remitting some commission to your staff? Um, health insurance. You know, I know this is something that is very rare. It is very hard to get um, health insurance provided to staff. Out of 10, you may find one agency that is doing something of this kind, whereby someone has an health insurance uh, attached to, and probably a family as well. So these are some of the things that we can look at, as benefits to these employees. Let's look at also bonuses, right? Bonuses can be in form of, we talked about commissions, overtime, of course, if your employees are working, say, Monday, Friday, and then all of a sudden it is peak season and you're calling them on a Saturday, Sunday, I think those days should be catered for, away from the normal salaries that you're giving, motivations. How are you motivating in terms of, you know, giving them extras, you know, uh, it's very important. So if you're not looking at any of those, what we call benefits, you see, because they bring their services to your tourism business and they expect return in form of benefits. These benefits can be in form of salary, and here we say fair salary or fair wage should be remitted to your employees. We're looking at bonuses, commissions, overtime. Are they paid when they go on leave? Or when someone takes leave, he probably goes on what we call unpaid leave. You see, all that. But we can also look at opportunities of growth and development. Every employee would look at this. I remember when I was um, an employee, 25, 22, 20, 27 there, it wasn't all about salary, but I was looking at an opportunity of career growth. And in career growth here, we look at training. Do you get trained as an employee? Now, to the directors, are you training? Because there are so many refresher courses. There are so many advancement in technology. An employee would look at this very critically. Am I growing? So my interest then was, am I growing in terms of career? Am I adding knowledge to myself in terms of knowing something new? See, so whenever I used to get these opportunities to travel, maybe to Kenya, to Rwanda for an IT web development course, maybe communication skills training, all that would probably get me into working so hard and probably working longer at that particular agency. So The big question you ask, are you offering opportunities of growth and development, such as training, such as career development? Are there opportunities for someone to, lead a particular department, from one department to the other? This is very critical, guys. So you must look at all this. Is there mentorship? You see? So employees look at some of these things away from the fair wages that we looked at in our first category. So if you can put this in a bundle, surely you know, you can keep someone for 5. I remember I worked for about 8 years at one agency. So meaning the director knew the right ways of keeping someone around. Let's look at the working environment. See, now to the directors, you must have a positive or create a positive work environment for your team. It's not all about the money that you're going to give the bonuses, but if the working environment is toxic, then of course people will not work for. Even you can have, I'm sure in the comment section, we can have people testifying their longest time, working at a particular agency, especially in the tourism industry. Even I had the testimony of someone telling me uh, he reported on Monday and by Monday afternoon he was away because of the toxic working environment. So are you able to have a positive and supportive working environment to your, you must be able to collect feedback from your team. How are we guys moving? Is there any area that you'd want us to improve on? Consulting them at one point doesn't mean that they are becoming owners of the business, but rather there will be people that will be enabling you in some key decision making. You see, so it's very important for, you know uh, supportive in the other way, what we call the work-life balance. Are they able, or you can assist them in how to balance their social life and also at the same time, making sure that they are productive at your workplace. So this is very key. Otherwise, it's not all about work, work, work. And you all know work without play makes Jack a dull boy. And our last category here, we'll probably talk about recognitions and rewards. You may be working out there and you've worked for a company 2, 3 years and there has not been any recognition, not even a thank you from your employer. So to the directors, small as thank you would be very good, you see, to your employees. Because you're looking at how do we keep these people? The concern of them leaving in 6 months, 4 months, and you've invested heavily in them because we come and teach them. You invite us to train them. But in the shortest time possible, the next call I have is the so and so you trained left my company. So let us embark on having a good team at the same time retaining a good team. So recognition and rewards, employee of the month, employee of the year, all these rewards, the 13th paycheck at the end of the year, all these are recognitions. They can come in form of payments or benefits, but at the same time you can, give someone a vacation, celebration. You've seen people celebrating birthdays at workplaces. These are very key steps in or strategies in employee retention. These are small things, but well put together and all combined will probably help you and so many others. So if you think it's something that we've actually missed out, just come to our comment section, but we'll be able to learn from you as well. I know directors, you've got a very big hand in this, and it is your role to play now. Avoid losing good stuff in just 1 year, in just less than 1 year, in just 2 years. You should be able to keep someone working for you for about 5 years. Of course, salary increments will definitely, you know how to pace that. We have inflation in the country. across the globe, inflation is on. So can you refer to, you know, salary structures in relation to the ongoing inflation? Of course, you have to mind so much about someone's productivity, right? But to the team out there, as we fight, as everyone fights to retain you, you also fight on your working discipline, time punctuality, smartness, company representation, good communications. In other words, the effort that you devote to someone's work is very key. Otherwise, I hope you've learned something today. I want to wish you a happy new month, and do not forget to follow us on our social media handles. We're on Twitter, we're on LinkedIn. Subscribe on our YouTube channel for these and more learning tutorials, right? Of course, we'll be back this month before it comes down for an open up month of April, right? Got lots that we prepared in there, and do not forget our learning curve in the same session. Otherwise, I want to wish you a very nice evening, and bye bye. See you in our next video. Cheers.